I'm worried about that girl. She looks as if she's a terrible case of indigestion.
They said she was going to be a Vestal virgin.
Vestal virgins, they dress in white.
I think so, yeah.
Clive said, virgin only, ridiculous.
Right. Exactly, but yes.
Sorry.
Almost wearing a frock she was, I'm pleased to say. Yeah, and this is a family show. Right. And particularly a family show with you two fellas on Halloween. I hope the children are wrapped up warm. Well, what sort of gruesome things have you both written about over the years? Awful.
Well, I can't read his stuff. It's too bad. It's
too
gruesome.
You're just saying that.
Yeah.
We do. We write some pretty hairy stuff. But it doesn't just appeal to people like us. It's kids as well, particularly kids.
Yeah, kids love to be scared, don't they?
Yeah, and also a lot of women readers. There's I guess, there were some figures I saw in America recently. About 60% of all horror novels are bought by women, which I think is strange because when I first started, I guess I thought that the readers of this kind of stuff were young male adolescents. A lot of middle-aged ladies are out there reading this kind of stuff, Jim's stuff, my stuff, and having a good time with it.
That's right.
Where do these ideas come from? Because it seems to me they're nightmarish.
Yeah.
They're the ultimate nightmare. You take the very idea is sending you off into.
Well, what we do, our nightmares, we don't have nightmares when we go to sleep. Our nightmares are in the daytime. We put them down on paper. And that gets rid of these feelings for us. It's all there for us in the daytime.
Yeah, also kids are doing it all the time. When you're a kid, you're playing in the play yard, you're playing monsters all the time. I mean, I did.
Well, we were.
We were.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're pushing it. You're pushing it beyond the bounds that most people would want to take it.
But it's still safe, right? It's like
still
going
safe,
on a ghost train ride.
And in fact, they want us to do that for them. They want us to take it as far as we can go and drag them a little bit along the way. They can retreat. And we retreat as well before we go to the ultimate. And I don't know yet what the ultimate is.
Do you retreat? I don't think so. I think you go to the limits. I've never censored myself. The thing I've always said is, everything I put in my books, I'll never say, no, Clive, you shouldn't say that. No, you forbid. I don't think you forbid yourself anything.
No, I don't. I'm trying to be mild-mannered and family showish.
Never mind, it's Halloween. Everybody wants to get frightened out of their wits tonight. But describe your stories. I mean, I know they're different, but do they have a central theme? I mean, your ultimate aim is to frighten the living daylights out of everybody.
That's part of it. That's we entertain. We want to frighten people. We're like the roller coaster, the Big Dipper. We have our various themes, and it's usually good against evil. Sometimes we twist it and have evil against evil. But usually, I think with Clive's and certainly with mine, there is some kind of moral tone there.
Yeah, and also there's this whole thing about monsters. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a monster. I still do want to be a monster.
It worked.
Yeah, thanks.
Boy.
Yeah, come on with this guy, all he does is insult. The whole thing about monsters is they do all kinds of things I want to do. I mean, they fly, they live forever, they're sexually irresistible. I mean, what's bad about this? I mean, tell me what's bad about this.
But they kill, they chop.
Yeah, but what's bad about it?
What's bad about it is you get a stake through your heart.
At the end.
Only if they catch
Somebody does that to you.
I've warned him of this. I've warned him.
Do you get people coming up to you going like that a lot?
I get
we do that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
We get strange people who come up to us and we virtually do.
Do you ever frighten yourselves?
Clive frightens me, and I hope I frighten him.
No, you're only being nice. Does he really? Does he?
Yeah, and I think this is why I was saying before, I think he does push. I certainly push. I think the whole point is to say the things, the forbidden things, the taboo things.
I was going to say, that's it. You push the nightmare to the end. Most people wake up before a nightmare gets really bad.
But a safe nightmare is the best kind of nightmare, right? The kind of nightmare in which you can say, okay, I can read this book and any time I can put it down. It's like saying, I will live this experience and have the chills, but finally, I'm still at home. I'm still reading the book.
The worst nightmare is the one you don't wake up from. And I hope it never happens with one of our books, that somebody is so influenced by it, the nightmare continues. Okay, for one night, that's fine, but if it continues into weeks or a day or
that's it,
months,
that could happen. I mean, the book is probably the most powerful, reading's the most powerful thing for your imagination. The idea can stay in
It's so much more therapeutic to actually have it said, isn't it?
It's a relief. And we've found that the people that it would affect, they don't read books anyway. They'll watch video nasties, but
they'll watch
their brain can't get round words.
Yeah.
You know?
So, how do you scare people then? I mean,
You think of the very simple things. It's always the very simple things.
Have they been based in reality?
Yeah, my favourite ghost stories are in the daytime. It's a bright, sunny day, and something happens. It doesn't have to be a thunderstorm or mist. It's got to be real for me, and very mundane even. And you take the audience, the reader, along with you, and then you invite them to take a mental leap into the horror.
See, I don't mind the thunderstorms once in a while.
Yeah.
I'll do the thunderstorm routine. I'll do anything as long as it works. I have no shame. Whatever it takes, I'll do. And I think what's important only is that you give the reader something they haven't seen before. One of the things about the routine we just saw, which is terribly entertaining, is it's kind of kitsch and camp now. You couldn't do that. We wouldn't do that in one of our stories or one of our books or movies.
We could have danced with Gary.
Oh, it would have been great. No, we would have been great. The backing singers, we could have had an extra 2 backing singers. We'd have been great at that. But
the trick for us is to find the different things to do each time. Because how far can you go? How much has been done before? I've done a lot before, and Clive has now. How far can you find something new?
So you're always looking for another boundary, aren't you?
Yes,
we are.
Pushing the parameters.
I've got to say though, it comes to us. We never. Well, I don't seek. It just seems to.
Does it spill over into your real life, into your own life?
Of course it does. We live in graveyards, and we.
Oh, now you're just saying that.
My children call me Igor and Mongo. Yes, it's.
He's lying. He's lying.
I'm not so sure.
What happens? I mean, if I'm in the study working all day, I'm James Herbert. The moment I put the pen down and leave the study and lock the door, I revert to Jim Herbert.
I thought you could say I turned into Dracula.
It's like Superman and Clark Kent. I suddenly become a wimp.
I don't do that. I'm
He's
doing
Clive
it all
Barker
the time.
He's James Herbert.
I'm James Herbert all the time. You can be Clive Barker. Okay. I don't see that distinction. My imagination is working overtime all the time. And all I'm doing when I'm sitting in front of the desk writing is I'm putting that stuff on the page, but it's working all the time. I don't see the distinction.
Do you live in a macabre environment?
I did a photo session this afternoon and with an American photographer, and she came around and she said, "What have you got? What about the props?" And I said, "Props? Have I got props?" Out came the skulls, out came the bones, of course. I mean, I love that stuff. It's part of the tools of the trade. It's like being a chemist, you're going to have some chemicals around, right?
The same photographer actually took me out 2 days ago, but she took me to a graveyard.
Yeah, right.
Your own living room, I've got to go to a graveyard.
Well, my living room looks like a graveyard.
I heard this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Do you have bad dreams?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have bad dreams. I had one last night, one the night before, but I used them, you see. The last book I did, Haunted, came from a dream. And it wasn't a nightmare. It was just a bad dream about ghosts. I woke up, and in that sort of transient state between sleeping and waking, the story continued. So it was useful for me. I wish I had more bad dreams.
You don't have them at all? But,
No, they're all on the page.
the Weave World.
Weave
thing,
World.
That's
a
more
fantasy, but it's got dark. I mean, it's suitable for Halloween in the sense that it's got a lot of dark material in it. I can't ever get through an entire story without something weird going on. Weave World is a big fantasy novel, but the whole thing finally is about the imagination. What we're both writing about is stuff that isn't going to happen. That's the whole point. We're entering a world in which the dreams, the nightmares interweave all the time. Now, I find that fascinating because I think I'm healthier for that. And I meet my fans as Jim meets his, and I think on the whole, they are, with the few that you have to do that to, the most part, they are very well-mannered, articulate, healthy, well-balanced people.
Yeah, because we're releasing their regressions as well as our own.
You're really performing the function of psychiatrists,
I think so,
perhaps.
yes. I think
so.
We're cheap analysts, is what we are.
I thought for an awful moment you were doing it for the money.
Ah, Terry,
come
no
on,
way.
yes, it's silly, I'm sorry.
No.
Yes,
Such cynicism,
I'm
such
sorry.
cynicism.
Yeah. Look, do you believe in ghosts?
I do. Clive doesn't.
I don't know. No. I think I think when we're dead, we've got better things to be doing with our time than hanging around the living. I think we're off. I think a new adventure begins. In Peter Pan it says death will be an awfully big adventure. I think we're off on something new.
But it depends what you mean by ghost. Now, I don't see that sort of thing as being ghosts. I don't believe you hang around haunting people. But there is something that goes on. You become a spirit or you float around the ether. I think there's something happening.
I agree
We
with
just
that.
don't know what, you know.
Have you ever come across it? Makes you think.
Yeah, quite a few times things have happened, and I mean, a lot of people say I'm psychic. A lot of psychics say I'm psychic, and I am, because I can tell you in the next question you're going to ask me. Why do you write horror, Jim?
Wrong.
And on the phone, a psychic.
Clive Barker and James Herbert, they're going to stay with you.